She told me, "I think we should take a break," right before her ex moved back to town. I said, "Okay." 6 months later, she texted wanting to talk. I replied, "I'm seeing someone else now." She showed up at my door that night. I, 28 male, need to get this off my chest because I'm still processing what happened. My friends are divided on whether I went too far, but I believe I did what was necessary to protect myself. Rachel and I were together for 3 years. We lived together for the last year and a half. On the surface, things were good. But looking back, I can see the cracks I chose to ignore. The way she'd get intensely anxious if I didn't text back within the hour. The flashes of jealousy over female friends she'd had since day one. They were small things, easy to dismiss. Then one night in February, she hits me with the, "We need to talk" line. She was staring at her phone, not me. "I think we should take a break," she said. "A break?" I asked, confused. "What's wrong?" "I just need some space to figure things out. It's not you, it's me." The oldest line in the book, but here's the context. Her ex, Marcus, had just moved back to town. She'd mentioned it casually a week earlier, but her tone was off. "Oh, Marcus got a job here, isn't that weird?" Weird indeed. I didn't argue, didn't beg. A part of me was tired of walking on eggshells. I just said, "Okay." She looked up from her phone, genuinely surprised. "That's it? Just okay? You said you need space. I'll give you space." She moved out the next week, leaving half her stuff because it's just a break. Sure it was. Here's where the reality of legal obligations kicks in. The lease we signed was ironclad. Both our names were on it, making us equally liable for the entire rent until the term ended in 8 months. She assumed I'd just cover her half while she found herself. That was a wrong assumption. I immediately contacted our landlord. He was a professional, not a friend. He pointed to Clause 12 of our agreement. Both tenants are jointly and severally liable. "I don't care who pays it, as long as it's paid in full," he said. "If you want her off the lease, you both need to sign a lease termination agreement and pay a 2-month break fee. Otherwise, she's on the hook with you." I paid the full rent for the first month to protect my credit and avoid eviction. Then I sent Rachel a formal certified letter with a copy of the lease, highlighting her legal obligation for 50% of the rent. 2 weeks later, her Instagram confirmed my suspicions. A photo of her and Marcus at our favorite restaurant. The caption, "Sometimes life brings people back together." I screenshotted it, not out of pain but for my records. I texted her, "Hey, I sent you a letter regarding the lease. Since you've moved out, you still owe your half of the rent. If you want to be formally removed from the lease, we need to sign the termination agreement with the landlord." Her response, "Can't this wait? I'm really busy." "The rent is due on the 1st, I replied. "You are legally responsible for your share." Radio silence. She refused to meet or sign anything. So I documented every text, every post with Marcus, and every refusal to cooperate. After the 2nd month of her non-payment, I sent her a formal demand letter for 2 months of back rent, drafted using an online legal template. I sent it to her parents' house, her last known address. She called me, screaming, "What the hell is wrong with you?" "I'm following the lease terms," I said calmly. "The ones we both signed. You abandoned the apartment and your financial obligations." "You know I can't afford that." "Then you should come and sign the termination paperwork. Otherwise, this debt will go to collections and damage your credit." She came by the next day, seething. She signed the agreement. As she was leaving, she tried for a dramatic exit. "I can't believe you're being so cold about this." "You wanted a break," I said. "Breaks have consequences." Next, her belongings. The lease stated that property left for more than 30 days after a tenant vacates is considered abandoned. However, state law required the landlord to send a formal notice. I coordinated with him, and he sent the notice to her parents' address, giving her 15 days to retrieve her things. She ignored the notice, so I boxed up everything. I donated it to a local women's shelter and got an itemized receipt for tax purposes. I sent her a copy with a note, "Your things are helping women who are actually in need." Marcus texted me after that. "Dude, you have a problem." "No problem here," I replied, "just following the law." Fast forward to May. I'm doing well. I started seeing someone new. Sarah, a teacher who communicates with a calm maturity that felt like a breath of fresh air. Life was good. Then the texts from Rachel started in June. Hey, how are you? Been thinking about us. I made a mistake, can we talk? I replied once. I'm seeing someone else now. I wish you the best. 20 minutes later, she's at my door, banging on it. I opened it, leaving the chain on. It's 10 p.m., Rachel. She was a mess, mascara running down her face. You can't just move on like that. It's been 6 months since you left, Rachel. We were together for 3 years. We were, I emphasized. You ended it, remember? I said a break, not a breakup. A break where you immediately moved in with your ex? That's a breakup. She started crying, the ugly, gasping kind. Marcus and I broke up. He was a liar. That's unfortunate, I said, my voice flat, but has nothing to do with me. You need to leave. How can you be so cruel? I loved you. Rachel, my girlfriend is asleep upstairs. You are upsetting her, and you need to leave now before I call the police. That set her off. She started screaming about how I'd ruined her life, how I was petty, how I'd maliciously given away her things. I pulled out my phone. I'm calling the non-emergency line and filing a report for harassment. Leave. She left, but not before kicking the door and screaming that I'd regret this. I made the call and got a police report number, just in case. The next morning, I had 47 texts ranging from apologies to threats. I screenshotted them all, then blocked her number. The harassment escalated. She showed up at my gym. She bumped into me at my coffee shop. Then she crossed a line. She found out where I worked and called my boss, claiming we had a domestic situation and she was concerned about my mental stability. My boss, a decent guy, called me in. I showed him everything. The texts, the police report, the documentation of her non-payment. He was appalled. Get a restraining order, he said. Yesterday. I hired a lawyer who confirmed I had a strong case for harassment. She drafted a formal cease and desist letter, which we sent to Rachel's parents' house. Her dad called me, furious. She just wants closure, he yelled. Sir, she chose her closure when she left. I have moved on. Your daughter is harassing me, and if it continues, I will pursue a protective order. He hung up. The direct contact stopped, but she started a smear campaign on social media, posting vague accusations of emotional and financial abuse. Sarah, my girlfriend, was my rock, but I could see the toll it was taking. This is a lot, she said one night, her voice trembling slightly. It's starting to scare me, to be honest. Maybe your boss is right about that restraining order. She was right. I was being too passive. Update 1. 2 weeks later, my hesitation proved to be a mistake. Rachel escalated from attacking me online to attacking Sarah in the real world. She sent an anonymous, concerned parent email to the principal at the school where Sarah teaches. It was unhinged, rambling about my abusive patterns and how Sarah was endangering students by dating a dangerous man. The principal, who knew Sarah well, saw it for what it was but had to follow protocol. Sarah called me, not just angry but genuinely frightened. She tried to get me fired. This has gone too far. We are going to the police. Now. That was the final straw. I took the mountain of evidence, the texts, the social media posts, the false report to my boss, the email to Sarah's school, and we went to the police station together to file for an emergency protective order. The detective was blunt. This is textbook stalking and harassment. You have more than enough. They granted a temporary order that day pending a court hearing. A sheriff would serve her the papers within 48 hours. But that same night, before she was served, Rachel showed up at Sarah's apartment. Sarah called me, whispering and terrified. She's outside, parked across the street, just sitting in her car staring at my window. Call 911. I'm on my way, I said, my heart pounding. When I got there, 2 police cars were already present. Rachel was telling them she was just lost and pulled over to check her GPS. An officer recognized me from the report I'd filed earlier. Is this the individual named in your protective order filing? Yes, I said. And she is lying. This is my girlfriend's apartment. She has never been here before. She is stalking us. We are terrified of her. The fact that the order hadn't been technically served didn't matter. Her actions, showing up at night at the home of a person she'd been systematically harassing, constituted stalking. They arrested her. As they put her in the car, she screamed at me, "This is what you wanted, isn't it? To ruin my life?" I didn't respond. Sarah came outside, shaken but resolute. "You really know how to pick them," she said with a shaky laugh. "Formerly pick them," I corrected, putting my arm around her. Later that night, I got a call from an unknown number. It was Marcus. "You need to drop this," he said, his voice low and menacing. "You're making a huge mistake. You don't know what you're dealing with." "Is that a threat?" I asked. "It's advice. She's not well. Walk away before this gets uglier for everyone, especially your new girl." "Are you threatening my girlfriend?" I shot back. "Just telling you to be smart," he said, and hung up. The call wasn't about her well-being. It was an intimidation tactic. It felt like he was trying to cover his own tracks. I saved the call record and reported the contact to the detective. The hearing for the permanent order was a week later. Rachel showed up with a lawyer who tried to paint me as a vindictive ex. But my lawyer dismantled their narrative, presenting a clear, chronological timeline of harassment. The judge wasn't interested in the relationship drama. He looked at the police reports, the email to Sarah's principal, the stalking incident. "Miss Rachel's last name," he said. "Your behavior is not that of a heartbroken ex, it is that of a criminal harasser. The protective order is granted for 2 years." Rachel broke down, a hollowed-out version of the woman I once loved. Seeing her like that felt shitty. There was no victory, just a profound sense of loss and relief. Sarah was waiting for me. "It's done? It's done. Good," she said, squeezing my hand. "Now we can move on." Update 2. 3 months passed, quiet, normal months. Then I got a call from my lawyer. "Rachel's lawyer contacted me," she said. "She is requesting a formal, mediated meeting, both of us present." "Absolutely not," I said. "Hear me out. She claims she has information about Marcus that is now part of a criminal investigation. She's willing to sign a 5-year extension on the protective order in exchange for one 15-minute meeting to give you context she claims you deserve." Sarah was adamant. "You owe her nothing. It's a trap." "It's not for her," I argued. "It's for us. A 5-year guarantee of peace. And if she's lying, our lawyers are witnesses." Reluctantly, we agreed. The meeting was held in a conference room at my lawyer's office. Rachel looked healthier, calmer. "Thank you for agreeing to this," she began. "I have spent the last 3 months in intensive therapy. I am not here to ask for forgiveness, but to offer an explanation." She took a breath. "Marcus didn't just reappear in my life. He blackmailed me. He had intimate videos of me from when we dated before. He threatened to send them to my family and my work if I didn't leave you and get back with him." My stomach turned. "What?" I was terrified and ashamed. "I should have told you. I should have gone to the police. But I thought I could handle it myself. Give him what he wanted until he got bored and deleted them. I thought I was protecting you." "The Instagram posts?" "He made me post them, to make it look real," she said, tears welling in her eyes. "When he dumped me, my plan had failed, and I'd lost you for nothing." I had a complete mental breakdown. That's not an excuse for what I did next. My terrorizing you and Sarah was inexcusable. I was a victim who made victims of you both, and I will have to live with that forever. "Why should I believe you?" I asked, my voice hoarse. Her lawyer slid a document across the table. It wasn't screenshots. It was a copy of an official police report she had filed against Marcus for extortion and blackmail dated 2 months prior. The report listed me as a collateral victim. "They are building a case against him," she said quietly. "I needed you to know the truth, not to change anything, but because you didn't deserve to be left with a lie." Her lawyer spoke. "As agreed, my client will sign the 5-year extension. She has also written letters of apology to you and to Miss Sarah. We will only send them with your consent." The meeting ended. I felt hollowed out. I told Sarah everything that night. She listened, her expression a mixture of horror and resolve. "That's monstrous," she said. "What he did to her is a crime. But she's right about one thing. It doesn't excuse what she did to us. The fear she caused was real. My sympathy for her has its limits." She was right. I accepted the 5-year extension. We consented to receive the letters. But that was the end of it. The chapter was closed. Update 3. It's been 2 months since the meeting. Marcus was arrested in another state. Turns out, Rachel wasn't his only victim. He blackmailed at least 4 other women. He's facing a long list of felony charges. Rachel testified against him. The apology letters arrived via our lawyers. They were raw and honest. Rachel took full responsibility for the trauma she caused, explaining her breakdown without using it as a shield. Sarah read hers and said, "I'm glad she's getting help. I hope she finds peace. but I'm also glad for that 5-year order. We moved in together last month, a new place, a fresh start. Last week, I ran into Rachel's mom at the grocery store. I tensed up, but she approached me cautiously. "I won't keep you," she said, her voice strained. I just needed to say, what happened, it was for the best. Her therapist said she had to hit rock bottom to start climbing. The arrest, the order, it forced her to get the help she desperately needed for her anxiety and depression. "I'm glad to hear she's doing better," I said, and I meant it. "She is," her mom said with a sad smile. "Thank you." She turned and walked away. It wasn't a neat, happy ending. It was an awkward, painful acknowledgement of a shared disaster. Here's what I've learned. Red flags are warnings. A partner's intense anxiety or jealousy isn't a sign of passion. It's a sign of instability that can curdle into something dangerous. Taking a break is a conversation, not a declaration. If someone won't give you reasons, their silence is the reason. Document everything. Protect yourself legally. It's not about being petty. It's about being prepared. Involve professionals. Don't try to handle stalking or harassment yourself. Lawyers and law enforcement are tools for your safety. Mental illness explains behavior. It does not excuse it. Someone can be both a victim and a perpetrator. You are not obligated to absorb their trauma or forgive their abuse. Closure is a myth. It doesn't come from one conversation. It's built over time, with distance and new, healthier experiences. Rachel's 5-year order is in effect. Marcus is going to prison. Sarah and I are building a quiet, stable life. It's not a happy ending or a sad one. It's just an ending that gave way to new beginnings. Trust your gut, protect yourself, and never let someone make their crisis your emergency. I'm closing this account now. The past is in the past. Thanks for listening. She texted, "You're too nice. Nice guys finish last, and I need a winner." I wrote, "You're right." Then I finished first in everything, including dating her rival who'd always called her second best. Her breakdown when we made it Instagram official. Original post I, 31 male, got the text on a Wednesday afternoon. Was reviewing quarterly reports when my phone buzzed. Madison, 29, my girlfriend of 2.5 years. "Brett, we need to talk. You're too nice. Nice guys finish last, and I need a winner. Someone with ambition, edge. You're sweet, but I need more." It's over. I stared at it for maybe a minute. 2.5 years. Living together for the last 8 months in my condo. And she breaks up via text while I'm at work because I'm too nice? Here's the thing about Madison. She worked in fashion PR, always comparing herself to everyone, especially her work rival Sophia, 30. Every event, every promotion, every Instagram post was a competition. Sophia got the better accounts, the better invites, the better everything according to Madison. It ate at her constantly, and apparently being with a nice guy financial analyst wasn't helping her image. I typed back, "You're right, I'll have your things ready by Friday." She responded immediately, "Wait, what? That's it? No fighting for us?" Me, "You said nice guys finish last. Why would I prove you wrong?" Radio silence. I left work early, went home to my condo, started packing her stuff methodically. Her designer bags, her excessive skincare collection, her vision boards about manifesting success. While packing, I found something interesting in her planner. Notes about some guy named Dimitri, 35M, apparently a pharmaceutical entrepreneur, drug dealer with a LinkedIn. She'd met at a networking event 3 weeks ago. Phone numbers, little hearts. Cool. Thursday morning, I woke up different. Not angry, just focused. If Madison thought I was too nice to be a winner, time to win at everything. First, the promotion I'd been too nice to push for. Walked into my boss's office. "Tom, I want the senior director position. I've been carrying half of Davidson's workload since his heart surgery, plus my own. I deserve it, and if I don't get it, Prosperity Financial has already made me an offer." Tom blinked. This wasn't the Brett who usually just accepted whatever. I'll talk to the board today. Got the promotion that afternoon. 40% salary bump, corner office, the works. Update 1, 2 weeks later, Madison had been blowing up my phone since she picked up her stuff. Apparently, Dimitri wasn't quite the entrepreneur he claimed. He got arrested for selling fake Adderall to college kids. She wanted to talk about us. I didn't respond. I was busy. See, after the promotion, I started going to the networking events I usually avoided because I thought they were pretentious. That's where I ran into Sophia at a charity gala for childhood literacy. Sophia looked incredible, obviously. She always did. Madison used to rage about how everything comes so easy to her and how she doesn't even try. We'd met a few times when Madison would drag me to work events, and Sophia was always pleasant while Madison would be seething with jealousy. "Brett, haven't seen you in forever. Where's Madison?" Sophia asked, genuinely friendly. "We broke up. She decided she needed someone less nice." Sophia laughed. "Less nice? You literally helped build that library in Guatemala last year." "Apparently that's not winning enough." She tilted her head. Her loss. "Want to grab coffee sometime? I'd love to hear about that library project." Here's what Madison never understood about Sophia. She wasn't her rival. Sophia genuinely liked Madison, tried to include her in things, recommended her for projects. Madison created the competition in her own head. We got coffee, then dinner, then another dinner. Sophia was everything Madison pretended to be, actually confident, not comparing herself to others constantly, genuinely interested in other people. She laughed when I told her about the nice guys finish last. Text. She actually said that? Like unironically? 2 weeks in, I'd been promoted, started dating Sophia, and joined the company basketball league. We won our first game. Turns out I'm competitive when I actually try. Madison's texts evolved. "I see you got promoted. Congrats. Can we talk? I made a mistake. Why aren't you responding? I know you're reading these." Then she found out about Sophia. Update 2, 1 month later. Madison went nuclear when she discovered I was dating Sophia, not through Instagram or mutual friends. No, she found out the best possible way at the Fashion Week preview party that Sophia invited me to as her +1. I walked in wearing the Tom Ford suit I'd bought with my promotion bonus. Sophia looked stunning in an emerald dress. We were laughing about something when I heard a glass drop. Madison, standing there with Brittany and Kendall, her fashion friends. Her face went white, then red, then purple. "What the hell is this?" Sophia genuinely confused. "Madison, hi, didn't know you'd be here. You look great." "Madison, are you seriously with him? Nice to see you too, Madison. You're dating my literal rival? This is revenge?" "Rival? What?" "Madison, I've always considered us friends." Madison laughed bitterly. "Friends? You've made my life hell for 3 years. Always one-upping me, always getting the better everything." Sophia looked genuinely hurt. I recommended you for the Versace account. I introduced you to my contacts." "What are you talking about?" The room was watching now. Madison's friends were trying to pull her away, but she was spiraling. "Madison, to me, how could you? After everything?" "Me, after you dumped me via text for being too nice? Pretty easily, actually." "Madison, I was confused. Dimitri was a mistake." Brittany whispered loudly. "Didn't he get arrested?" Madison turned redder. "Me, you were right though. Nice guys do finish last, so I decided to finish first instead." "By stealing my rival? Nobody stole anyone, and I'm not your rival. I never was. That's all in your head, Madison." Madison started crying. Not pretty tears, angry, mascara-running tears. "You've taken everything from me. Every account, every opportunity. And now Brett." "Madison, I've literally never competed with you. You created this whole narrative. I've tried to help you." Security started moving closer. Madison's friends finally dragged her toward the exit, but not before she screamed. "This isn't over." Narrator, Ron Howard voice, "It wasn't." Update 3, 2 months later. Madison's entitlement reached astronomical levels after Fashion Week. First came the smear campaign. She started posting cryptic Instagram stories about betrayal and snakes. Then full posts about how some people will stop at nothing to destroy you, with photos of her crying. Her friends commented supportive messages about karma and what goes around. Then she tried to sabotage Sophia at work. Started spreading rumors that Sophia was sleeping with clients. When that didn't work, she claimed Sophia was stealing her ideas. The problem? Sophia documented everything. Every email, every proposal, time-stamped and backed up. But the real escalation came when Madison showed up at my office. Security called up. "Mr. Harrison, there's a Madison Wheeler here, says she's your girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, and no, don't let her up." She waited in the lobby for 3 hours. When I finally came down with building security, she was a mess. "Brett, please, 5 minutes. No. I love you. I made a mistake. You made a choice. Now live with it. You're doing this to hurt me. Dating her." Actually, I'm dating her because she's amazing. You're not factor in that equation. She tried to grab my arm. Security stepped in. Sir, should we call the police? Madison's eyes went wide. Brett, don't, please. Just go home, Madison. Move on. She left, but not before yelling, you were nothing before me. I made you interesting. I gave you a life. My colleague Jason, who'd watched the whole thing, said, dude, she seems stable. That night, Sophia and I were cooking dinner when her phone started blowing up. Madison had sent a mass email to everyone at Sophia's firm claiming Sophia was a homewrecker who seduces taken men, and that I was a manipulative psychopath who planned this whole thing. Sophia's boss called. Madison had crossed a line from personal to professional. Update 4, 3 months later. Madison's email to Sophia's firm was her downfall. Sophia's company's legal team sent her a cease and desist. Her own firm got wind of it and put her on administrative leave for conduct unbecoming. But she wasn't done. She created fake Instagram accounts to harass us, posted photos she'd taken of me sleeping with captions like narcissist and emotional abuser, DM'd Sophia's clients warning them about her true nature. We documented everything. My lawyer, had to get one, sent her a formal cease and desist. Her response? She sued me for emotional distress and intentional infliction of psychological harm. Her claim? That I strategically seduced her rival to cause maximum damage, and that my campaign of psychological warfare had cost her job opportunities and friendships. The lawsuit was insane. She wanted $50,000 for therapeutic costs, $100,000 for lost wages due to reputational damage, a restraining order against both Sophia and me, a formal apology posted on my social media. My lawyer actually laughed reading it. She dumped you via text, and now she's suing you for dating someone else? The best part was discovery. Her lawyer requested all communications between Sophia and me, which included texts like, Sophia, is Madison okay? She seems really upset. Me, I don't know. I hope she gets help. Should we reach out? My lawyer says no contact. Real malicious stuff, right? Meanwhile, we had her unhinged emails, fake Instagram accounts, and the security footage of her waiting in my office lobby for 3 hours. Her lawyer dropped her after seeing the evidence. She had to get a new one, some ambulance chaser who took payment up front. Update 5, 4 months later, the hearing was yesterday. Madison showed up in what I can only describe as a courtroom revenge dress, skin-tight bright red. The judge, a no-nonsense woman in her 60s, looked unimpressed. Madison's new lawyer argued I had orchestrated a deliberate campaign to destroy her life. The judge asked for evidence. They presented my LinkedIn showing the promotion, somehow this was relevant, photos of Sophia and me at events, public events, the "you're right" text, which they claimed was psychologically manipulative. Our lawyer presented the original breakup text, 247 texts from Madison after the breakup, the fake Instagram accounts, the email to Sophia's firm, off-duty footage from my office, the cease and desist she ignored. The judge asked Madison directly, "Ma'am, you ended the relationship, correct?" Madison, "Yes, but..." "Via text message?" "Yes, but he..." "And you're upset he moved on?" "With my rival." "Was this person your friend?" "No. She's my competition." Sophia, who was there as a witness, raised her hand. "Your Honor, I considered Madison a friend. I've recommended her for multiple positions." Madison screamed, "Liar!" The judge banged her gavel. "Ma'am, control yourself or I'll hold you in contempt." Madison's lawyer tried to salvage. "Your Honor, my client has suffered severe emotional distress." Judge, "That appears to be self-inflicted. Case dismissed, and Miss Wheeler, I'm granting the defendant's countermotion for a restraining order. Stay 500 feet away from both of them." Madison broke down, full sobbing. "This isn't fair. He ruined my life." "No, you ruined your own life." Court adjourned. Update 6, 5 months later. Madison lost her job 2 weeks after the hearing, not because of the lawsuit, because she'd been skipping work to stalk us. Her firm had enough. She moved back with her parents. Started a wellness Instagram where she posts about surviving narcissistic abuse and healing from toxic relationships. Has about 200 followers, mostly bots. Last week I ran into Brittany at Whole Foods. She looked embarrassed to see me. "Brett, hey, look, I'm sorry about everything. Madison's been spiraling. We tried to tell her to let it go, but she's obsessed. She talks about you and Sophia constantly. It's honestly concerning. Is she getting help? Her parents are trying. She refuses therapy because she says the therapist would just take your side. Meanwhile, Sophia and I just celebrated 6 months together. Posted a photo from our trip to wine country. Caption: with someone who appreciates nice guys. Madison created another fake account to comment. Fake happiness built on destroying others. It got deleted in minutes. Instagram's getting faster at catching her. Final update: it's been 8 months since the nice guys finished last text. Here's where everyone ended up. Madison, living with her parents, working part-time at a boutique her mom's friend owns, still posts about being a victim of calculated emotional violence. Her friends have mostly distanced themselves. Brittany told me she had to block Madison after she demanded Brittany choose sides and cut contact with anyone who even followed Sophia on Instagram. Her latest thing? She started a podcast called Dating the Devil: How I Survived a Covert Narcissist. It has 3 episodes and 47 downloads. I'm guessing she downloaded it herself multiple times. In episode 2, she claims I strategically isolated her from her support system, aka her friends got tired of her drama and left on their own. Last month she tried to show up at a charity event Sophia was organizing. Security had her on a list. She made a scene, someone filmed it, and it went minor viral on TikTok as Crazy X gets denied at door. The comments were brutal. Me. Still with Sophia. Got another promotion. Director of Strategic Planning. Bought a bigger condo. Started competing in triathlons. Turns out I'm pretty competitive when I stop being too nice. Madison would hate that I came in 3rd in my age group at the last one. The best twist? Dimitri, the pharmaceutical entrepreneur she dumped me for? He's dating someone new. A 22-year-old influencer who posts about their lavish lifestyle, aka his mom's basement and leased BMW. Madison comments on every photo from fake accounts. They keep getting deleted. Sophia, thriving. Got promoted to VP of her firm. We're planning a trip to Italy next month. She still feels bad for Madison sometimes. Says things like, I wish she could see I was never her enemy. That's the difference between them. Sophia has empathy. Madison only has entitlement. The last direct contact from Madison was a letter sent to my office violating the restraining order, but we let it slide. 4 pages of word salad about how I destroyed her destiny and stole her narrative. Also included a bill for $3,400 for therapy costs incurred due to your actions. My lawyer sent back a single line, no. The irony of all this? Madison was right about one thing: nice guys do finish last. So I stopped being just nice. I became successful, competitive, and happy. I finished 1st in my career, 1st in finding real love, 1st in moving on. But here's what she never understood. Being nice and being a pushover aren't the same thing. I'm still nice. I still volunteer, still help colleagues, still treat people with respect. I just don't let anyone walk over me anymore. Sophia and I were discussing it over dinner last week. Do you think she'll ever move on? Sophia asked. Doubt it. She needs to be the victim. It's her entire identity now. It's sad. She had talent. She could have been successful if she focused on her own growth instead of comparing herself to everyone else. That's the real tragedy. Madison created her own competition, her own enemies, her own downfall. She texted me that nice guys finish last, thinking she was trading up. Instead, she traded everything for nothing. Her prophecy became self-fulfilling, just not how she expected. She said I needed to be a winner, so I became one. She said nice guys finish last, so I finished 1st. In everything, including dating the one person she couldn't stand seeing win. The last I heard from Brittany, Madison was convinced Sophia and I would eventually break up because relationships built on revenge never last. She's waiting for that day to prove she was right all along. She'll be waiting forever, because this isn't revenge. This is just life, moving forward without her. Nice guys might finish last, but entitled people? They don't finish at all. They're too busy running in circles, competing in races that only exist in their heads, against opponents who aren't even playing. Thanks for reading this wild ride. Going to go be successful now. You know, like a winner does.